Hi, welcome to Trash Fest here at the High Falls Transfer Station. We have other venues, but this one we're happy to show you around. So this is Skip LaPlante's musical waterfall. You take water, fill up we're at a transfer station, so it's noisy sometimes. You fill up your jug, and then you pour the water down these channels, and it makes noise. So let's see, we'll use this channel. It takes a little while for the noise to start to happen. You see it goes. And what's really fun is when you have a number of people, because you know, when there's just one person, you only get a little bit of noise. But if you had 6 people on all these channels, it's really fun when you have more than one player. And you know, kids really get this, but guess what? I love it too. And going down that slide, in the bucket, you know, we'll do a little more. There's also, the water collects in a kiddie pool at the bottom. We cleared this little trail. It was a little bit about using the wasted space of the transfer station in addition to the wasted materials. So I love the visuals of this piece. It's just complete insanity and chaos. And Skip LaPlante has been making music on instruments that he's made himself from resource materials for 30 or 40 years. He's really a master, and he's made these crazy waterfalls before. They've been at some major museums, including PS1 in New York, and we're really glad to have it here. He worked really hard. He came, and there were no ladders used in making this piece. He threw the ropes up using a weight, and you know, it's just madness. It's very fun to look at it from the bottom. So we can go and look at that too. That's wonderful. We'll take a look from the bottom another time.
Okay.
So my funders were Arts Mid-Hudson. Thank you so much. Also, the town of Marbletown gave a grant for this project. The sponsors were the League of Women Voters Materials Management Committee and the Marbletown Environmental Conservation Commission, ECC. Many people offered help, offered art, offered time, did work, and it's wonderful. I'm moved by how many people came together to make this. So we have our Trash Fest sign. It's made out of water bottles and water with food coloring, and it's not quite such a bright, shiny day today, but when it is, it really sparkles. It's sparkling a little bit, so I'm glad that worked out. We found that piece of art over there in the trash, and we liked it, we saved it. We're sorry somebody did not honor their art. Maybe they broke up with someone, I don't know. Anyway, it was in the garbage. We liked it a lot. We put the red on. We thought it needed a little red, so we took it to the next step, just a little bit. That's part of Trash Fest now too. This is Alex Lyle over here. He's still working on his piece. We're not sure what it's called yet, but we made this. We found this wood. It's all pallets, broken down shipping pallets. There's a huge pile of waste wood, and I thought it was junk, and Alex said, "It's incredible, I want it." So we asked the guys. They said, "Take as much of it as you want." And they chip it actually and sell it for mulch. They were happy to let us have some, and here it is. Alex is a dancer, so his work has a lot of movement in it and a lot of space.
I do a wide range of work actually. Some of my work is
sculptural like this, and some of it is more performance-based, and often the two come together. So I'll do a performance where there's an installation that I do a performance in, and kind of my performance within the installation makes up what the whole work is. Something like this. This is actually movement that I had done. I had an idea of how I wanted it to fit in the space, so I did movement here, and then I went back and then turned the movement back into a sculpture. So.
I have to tell you, I'm liking this.
Cool, thank you.
Very nice.
I'm glad you like it.
So thank you, and thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you for coming out.
Over there we have a mural by Eugene Stetz. He's right here from High Falls, has lived here all his life. He's a serious muralist, a young man. I think he's still in his 20s. He's also creating a mural up at the top of the transfer station where the two shipping containers are located. But anyway, he's brought a lot of color and bright shapes to the transfer station, and this will be permanent. Some of the other work is fragile and may not last that long, but this will be here for a very long time. So
super, very nice.
So this is my piece. It is called Obsolete. I think, as I've mentioned, as an artist, I'm more of a dancer and a writer. Visual arts are sort of playful for me, and I don't think of myself as a professional, although the other artists who are here are all professionals. And this piece I made mostly because I wanted to do some education, and I'm using TVs which are an obsolete form at this point, and even written materials are a bit obsolete these days. But garbage is also obsolete. We don't have to have garbage. We can have resources that get made into other things when we're finished with them in one form. So I've used words. The level here with the TVs that's more like facts and figures, the official version. And then here we have reflections on the mirrors, which are more personal to me and my journey through Trash Fest and through my life as a waste activist. So come and spend a little time and read if you have a chance.
Surely will.
And then I also made another piece here. And my purpose here was that we have this large stone here with an inscription that I think nobody notices ever. And so I just wanted to sort of call attention to it. Again, the idea being that there's so much that we never see. We just consider it sort of waste. It's wasted space, it's wasted materials. Someone took effort and made that. So I brought this over so that maybe people will come over here and read this inscription as well. It's just something very simple, and I just, so the guys who work at the transfer station here, they were pulling things out of the garbage for us again and again. Every time I came here there was more stuff, and it was really fun to see what they thought was interesting. So they pulled this cage out, and I spray painted it gold, and I just placed in it some natural materials, this wood and the bark and the stone, and then some non-natural materials, the grate, if you see at the bottom, and the spring. So it's just a simple piece.
So here we are at the League of Women Voters tent, and Meryl Sunderland is busy at work.
Yes.
Tell us about what you're doing.
Well, part of my crafting experiments earlier resulted in some empty plastic vials. And normally when you're done with your craft and you've used up your materials, you throw the containers away. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's wasteful, but everybody loves crafting. I thought maybe just take the containers and make artwork out of them. So I took one of the vials for the glitter and just started running some paint over it, and as it went over the surface it started getting a streaky effect, almost like wood or marble. And then I started layering the colors to get almost like an aurora borealis effect. And now I'm just throwing some glitter on there. So now it can be a decorative, item, or you can keep beads in it if you want to. And so zero waste crafting.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So she taught me.
Thank you very much for coming out. Oh, I'll get down and see. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Hi, my name is John Michelotti of Catskill Fungi. I have a business where I take people in the woods and I teach them about mushrooms on guided mushroom walks. I also make these health tinctures that I make on my family farm from mushrooms I grow. I teach people how to grow mushrooms. And what I'm doing today is I'm taking trash that we all make on a regular basis and I'm growing mushrooms on it. So what I have here is the root structure of mushrooms growing on sawdust, as you can see, in this plastic bag. And this you can purchase online. My favorite source is fungially.com. That's my buddy Willie. And what I did here is I took my coffee grounds. And every morning after I make my coffee, I take my grounds and I put it in a jar. And then I take a little of this sawdust and I sprinkle it on top of that coffee grounds. And once the jar is full, this was done about a week ago, you might be able to see on that camera, but there's these little white filaments that are growing through the coffee grounds that eventually turn bright white and grow completely through this, and then mushrooms will fruit out the top. These are blue oyster mushrooms that I will then take from what would have otherwise been trash and eat healthy food from. You know what happens when your jeans go out of style? I'll tell you. You take the same stuff and you sprinkle it once you soak your jeans in water, and you can grow mushrooms on your jeans too. That's what all that white is. Bringing your jeans back into style. Cardboard. There's plenty of cardboard out there. Once again, you soak the cardboard and there's sugars in the glues between the cardboard, and you can kind of see that white ropey stuff growing through. And this I can take and put in my garden, and it'll help to break down and make healthy soil. You know, each mushroom kind of is helpful for a different benefit, but you know, the possibilities are limitless. So I encourage you to go out, get a bag of oyster mushroom spawn, and start growing mushrooms.
When did you first develop this interest and zest for mushrooms?
Oh, years and years ago, by going on a mushroom walk. I was out in the woods with Gary Linkoff, and he's really an inspiring guy, inspiring teacher, and he kind of took me out and showed me what mushrooms are and why they're so exciting.
And are there any visible signs you can tell us about that would indicate we shouldn't eat those mushrooms?
Yeah, there's plenty of poisonous mushrooms out there, but there's no hard, fast rule on, these are poisonous, these are edible. But when you are looking for edible mushrooms in the woods, have no fear that, within your first year of learning how to identify mushrooms, you can get a good appreciation and understanding of 5 or 6 very common mushrooms that grow in our woods that are edible and delicious. But you should always be sure on what you're eating. You have to identify it as species. You can't just pick anything and eat them. But not just for eating. They're great for building healthy soil. They're great for, the health of our plants. And for making art.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great. Appreciate your being here today.
Trash Fest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trash Fest Ulster.
My display was a little running rampant, but that's okay. I'll clean it up a little.